Alright, I'm back doing another video. This time I'm going to do a series of short videos on the fundamentals of recovery. I'm going to kind of debunk a couple of myths and show you some of the fastest ways to help your body recover from different things. And I want to start this series off with a story that I learned while doing a massage course a few years ago. And the story was a real story about a massage therapist who had injured his ankle about 12 times in the course of about 6 years. And so the first time he injured it, it took about 5 months to come right. The second time, he knew a little bit more about recovery, he understood the body a bit better, it took him 2 months. Same amount of injury, same amount of pain, 2 months to recover instead of several. He said by the 12th time he'd injured himself, he was back to running within about 3 weeks. So knowledge is amazing because the more knowledge we have about how our body actually functions, the better we can manage it. And so in the first video, I'm going to talk about heat and cold and when to use them and how to use them. Now, I've got a cold pack here. There's a lot of evidence out there that I suggest people look into about not putting cold on sprains and things like that because it slows the nutrients down to the area. Again, it's been around for a few years, this knowledge, but it's worth looking into yourself, taking your own kind of initiative to look into what you can do. But I want to explain one simple factor of how to use hot and cold. So let's say I sprain my wrist. And so if my wrist is swollen and I'm trying to bring the swelling down and I want to use ice, most people would wrap the ice. By the way, don't do this, you'll get frostburn. You'll wrap the ice around the injured area. Now, let's think about what the ice is for. If we're trying to reduce swelling, which is the blood going into the area, putting it on the area. Again, the situation of my wrist, if this is swollen and I'm putting ice here, the blood is still coming down my arm. It's just getting kind of trapped here. So it's not very effective. So when we think about it, what we want to do is actually use the ice on the joint above. So if we think about this logically, if the blood is traveling from my heart down my arm, and then it's one of the factors causing swelling into my wrist, and I'm putting it at my wrist, that's not going to do much to reduce the blood flow here. It's going to reduce the blood flow in that area, but we want to lower the blood flow down. So if I put it the joint above, now the blood's slowing down here and it's not coming down to my wrist as much. So it reduces that swelling much, much quicker. So whenever we injure ourselves, whenever we're using heat and we're using cold packs, the idea is not to always put it on the area, it's to bring it above the joint above it. So if we injure our ankle, we'll put it on our knee. If we injure our knee, we'll put it on our thigh. And this works for both hot and cold because, again, if I'm trying to warm my wrist up, let's say I have a sports match or something and I need it moving and functioning so I don't hurt it, so I'm trying to get heat into it, and I put the heat here, the blood isn't traveling any faster down my arm. If I put it here in my shoulder, now all of a sudden my shoulder's really hot and it can easily pull the blood down my arm faster. So when we're using heat and we're using cold, a really simple trick is to use it on the joint above what we're trying to treat. Again, look into your own research onto when to use hot packs or cold packs. There's arguments on both sides. I always say as a rule of thumb, and this is back from when I used to coach gymnastics, we don't want to use ice packs too long because what we're essentially doing is we're blocking all the blood flow to that area. So we would use ice packs to reduce immediate amount of swellings and things like that. Or when the swelling got too big, we'd use ice, bring the swelling down quickly, make it numb, make it easier to move. We'd use heat generally if we want to do something. So If I'm still wanting to move, I want more blood. If I want to stop moving and just everything's going to stop right there, I'll use cold as a general rule of thumb. There's reasons why you would and wouldn't, and I suggest you look into doing that yourself, even if you have some basic first aid knowledge. Always handy to have. All right, keep growing, keep improving, keep making life better.